Ahoy, mateys! Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of shipwrecks along the western Cape coastline of South Africa. These submerged vessels tell tales of exploration, danger, and resilience. So buckle up and prepare to be swept away by the currents of history. South Africa's marine industry boasts a rich and colorful history, dating back to the 15th century when the western Cape coastline served as a vital trade route between Europe and the East. This bustling maritime highway, fueled by the demand for exotic goods among European elites, witnessed countless voyages and, unfortunately, numerous shipwrecks. Today, nearly 3,000 historical shipwrecks from various nations lie scattered along the South African coast, serving as silent testaments to a bygone era. These shipwrecks are more than just underwater relics. They're valuable repositories of historical information, offering unique insights into maritime trade, shipbuilding techniques, and even social life aboard these vessels. As such, it's crucial to manage, maintain, and protect these underwater treasures as part of our shared heritage. Now, let's set sail and explore some of the most captivating shipwrecks along the Western Cape coastline. Number 1. HMS Birkenhead, the 26th of February, 1852. The sinking of the Birkenhead was one of South Africa's worst maritime disasters, with many troops losing their lives. The HMS Birkenhead was wrecked on what's now known as Birkenhead Rock off Danger Point during a voyage from the UK to South Africa, carrying reinforcements for the 8th Frontier War in the Eastern Cape. The instruction was to get the women and children into the lifeboats first. As the Birkenhead broke apart and sunk, their officers instructed the troops to stand fast so that the boats carrying the women and children were not swamped by desperate swimmers. The troops awaited their fate with dignity. Their courage has set a precedent that is still practiced across the world in emergency situations and is referred to as the Birkenhead drill. In the years after the sinking, numerous salvage operations were undertaken, mainly to find the rumored Birkenhead treasure. Legend has it that the ship was carrying gold to pay the troops, but apart from a couple of hundred gold sovereigns thought to be from personal purses, no treasure has ever been found. Some of the early attempts to salvage the wreck had scant regard for the historical significance and sensitivity of the wreck. This resulted in extensive damage to the site, as stated by Sahara Maritime and Underwater Cultural Heritage. Number 2. Meisho Maru. Number 38, the 16th of November, 1982. The Meisho Maru, number 38, was a small Japanese fishing vessel that ran aground on November 16, 1982, at Cape Agulhas in the Western Cape, South Africa. The shipwreck can still be seen from the shore today and has been the subject of many photographs since its wrecking. The crew of 17 members were able to swim to safety, leaving the ship as the only casualty. The surviving fragment of the doomed vessel rusts atop the rocks, where it's constantly battered by the wind and waves. If you're in the area and like shipwrecks, you'll want to be sure to see it before it's gone. Number 3. Paquita, the 18th of October, 1903. The Paquita was a German sailing ship that wrecked on Beacon Rocks at the Knysna Heads on October 18, 1903. The ship was a 460-ton bark, three-masted sailing vessel that was built by Leslie and Company of Newcastle, England, and launched in 1862. It was one of the last sailing ships of its kind, with a steel hull and no engines. The ship was carrying a load of coal from Goole in Yorkshire to Thiessen and Company in Knysna when it ran aground. The shipwreck is now a popular diving spot, with a vibrant reef of redbait, corals, and anemones, shoals of fish, and reclusive octopus. Number 4. Jung Tai. Number 2. The 10th of October, 1982. Jung Tai No. 2 was a motor-powered fishing trawler that wrecked at Ciderstrand, near Agulhas in the Western Cape, on October 10, 1982. Within 10 years, the trawler had broken up and was no longer visible above the water. Number 5. SAS Fleur, the 8th of October, 1965. SAS Fleur was a steam-powered defense vessel that was scuttled in the middle of False Bay in the Western Cape on October 8, 1965, during a gunnery exercise. The ship was built by William Simons and Co. Renfrew, Scotland, in 1942. SAS Fleur was transferred to the South African Navy on February 15, 1943, and served in South African waters from 1943 to 1944 and the Indian Ocean from 1943 to 1944. The ship was sunk by naval gunfire near Simonstown. The wreck of SAS Fleur is now a popular diving spot, lying at about 40 meters for experienced technical divers. Number 6. Rex, the 3rd of October, 1903. The Rex was an iron steam-powered trawler that wrecked on October 3, 1903, in a southeasterly gale where the Kalk Bay Harbor was built 10 years later. During low tides, some of the remains are still visible within the harbor. Number 7. Thermopylae, the 11th of September, 1899. The steel, steam-powered freighter Thermopylae wrecked at Greenpoint Lighthouse in Table Bay in the Western Cape on the eponymous Thermopylae Reef. It wrecked on a bright moonlit night because of an error in judgment, being much closer to land than was thought. Number 8. MV Astor, the 9th of August, 1997. MV Astor was a motor-powered fishing vessel that was scuttled by the Western Province Diving Union on August 9, 1997, to create an artificial reef next to the wreck of the Katsu Maru 25 in Hout Bay in the Western Cape. The vessel lies level in the sand at a depth of 30 meters. Number 9. BOS 400, the 27th of June, 1994. The BOS 400 is a French crane barge that ran aground on the rocks in Maori Bay near Hout Bay in the Western Cape. The barge was being towed to Cape Town when its cables parted during strong currents, causing the vessel to drift onto the rocks. After numerous failed attempts were made to tow it off the rocks, it was declared a total loss. The BOS 400 lies partially on top of the wreck of the Oakburn, 1906, and as it deteriorates, the two wrecks are merging. The BOS 400 is a popular tourist attraction, with many people enjoying the hike along the coast to view it. There are lots of instances of people climbing onto the wreck to explore the inside and jumping from the wreck into the sea below. Number 10. Oakburn, the 21st of May, 1906. The Oakburn was a steam-powered British cargo ship that wrecked in thick fog and a strong current near Diker Point in the Western Cape on May 21, 1906. The ship was on a voyage from New York to Sydney carrying a cargo of railway equipment, sewing machines, musical instruments, glassware, oil, and paper. The Oakburn lies at a depth of about 22 meters, with many sections of the bow and boilers still visible amongst the more modern wreckage of the BOS 400. The wreck is partly broken up, but there are still sections of the bow and engine that are recognizable, and many artifacts are still lying around. The wreck is accessed by boat and is a very interesting dive site with some good marine life around the wreck too. Number 11. Pantelis A. Lemos, the 17th of March, 1978. Pantelis A. Lemos was a Greek motor-powered bulk carrier that ran aground on March 17, 1978, in the Saldanha Bay area, South Africa, while on a ballast voyage from Flushing to Dampier, Western Australia, via Cape Town, for bunkers. The shipwreck occurred due to poor navigation in thick fog, and a fire broke out because of overworked generators. The vessel was insured, and the master, mate, and chief engineer were found guilty of neglect. The vessel was insured for $50 million at the time and was considered one of the most high-cost claims of its day. The wreck of the Pantelis A. Lemos is now a popular diving spot. Number 12. Wafra, the 28th of February, 1971. The seawater intake pipes failed on the Wafra, a steam-powered 50,000-ton oil tanker, which resulted in it losing control of its buoyancy and flooding its engine room. It ran aground near Cape Agulhas in the Western Cape after a failed attempt to tow it. About 200,000 barrels of crude oil leaked into the ocean, which affected a colony of 1,200 African penguins on Dyer Island. To contain the oil spill's damage, the ship was refloated and towed out to sea on March 8th. And on March 10th, the South African Air Force attempted to sink the tanker with AS-30L missiles, but only succeeded in starting a 2-day-long fire before being sunken by a Shackleton aircraft using depth charges, sinking the Wafra to a depth of 1,800 meters. These are just a few of the countless shipwrecks that dot the Western Cape coastline, each with its own unique story to tell. They offer a window into our maritime past, reminding us of the power of the ocean, the ingenuity of human endeavor, and the fragility of life. As we conclude our exploration, I encourage you to learn more about these fascinating underwater time capsules. Many organizations offer diving tours and educational resources, allowing you to delve deeper into the history and mysteries of these shipwrecks. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this exploration, please consider subscribing to my channel for more historical adventures. Don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.